now we go to the next fight, the lightweight matchup between Anshul Jubli and Sanjeet Budhwar.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, moving on from the blue corner, put your hands together for Anshul Jubli.
As we were discussing, John, this is Anshul's pro debut. He has a big unbeaten streak in his amateur career. Now he's very confident, obviously, making his pro debut.
Right. But again, we've got a classic matchup between a strong grappler and a strong striker.
Instagram page is live on my page, takedowns. It's live on MFN MMA page. Ladies and gentlemen, get on, watch it live. Tell your friends to do that.
And his opponent, fighting from the red corner, Sanjeet Budhwar.
Sanjeet Budhwar from the red corner. As you said, John, has great stand-up, very strong boxer. Now, he is experienced as a professional fighter, something Anshul isn't. How big of a factor do you think that would be in the outcome of this fight?
I think that's a huge factor. You've got a fighter with professional experience coming in against basically an amateur opponent who's looking to improve himself. He'll respond to this big stage.
And on behalf of MFN2, hum sabko dhanyawad.
And we'll see if he controls the ring, how he approaches the striking game. He's going to want to keep this fight, again, on its feet.
The referee for this bout is Ryan.
Instructions, I want a clean fight, action. Mind the low kick to grounded fighters. Touch gloves if you all want. Back.
This will be interesting because as someone that has professional experience, Sanjeet would know not to underestimate his opponent.
Anshul to try and push his reach advantage here. Again, he's going to want to get inside on his opponent, neutralize his striking, and try and get this fight to the ground.
And sanctioning the event.
And here we go. Sanjeet's going to look to sort of find an opening because he knows his opponent's got a reach advantage on him. He's fading that jab, trying to keep him, measure his distance.
Obviously, he would know his opponent's strength. Obviously, he would know that he's a very good boxer, can finish the fight with one punch. He wouldn't want to rush the action. He would want to take his time, bide his time, find openings, close the distance, and take the fight to the ground.
Yeah. I would expect from a boxer to see a little bit more head movement to sort of neutralize the jab of his opponent as he tries to get inside.
Both the fighters are still tentative. They're not pulling the trigger.
I think you could see some of the nerves on Anshul. Now, the first contact's always important in these fights. It sort of gets the nerves out. The fighters forget about the risk and they get into what's going on right in front of them.
Both the fighters now jockeying for position here in the clinch. Obviously, Anshul would be happier with the fight going this way because obviously he would want the fight to go to the ground.
Whoa!
Surprisingly enough, it's Sanjeet that took the fight to the ground.
Yeah. Anshul was holding him against the fence, but he wasn't dropping down to try and get that leg to bring him to the ground, and ultimately ended up on top of him. Now he's got him here. They roll over into a full guard position, and we're going to see what Anshul's able to do from the top here. I think one of the challenges that he's going to have is he going to be able to effectively strike from this position? He's clearly got the jiu-jitsu skills, but let's see if he's got the ability to strike from this position here.
But Sanjeet is not letting Anshul settle in the guard position because he's throwing shots from the bottom.
Right, again, sign of an experienced fighter. Knows how to work an offensive position from the bottom.
Anshul is just threw a big elbow there.
Big elbow there. It's hard to tell how well they're landing. That was a good elbow there. And you can see he grabs for his head, trying to lock him down neutrally. Now he's got it. He's not going to be able to get a submission there. He's basically just trying to keep his opponent from posturing up on him. He's still, again, He's active, he's striking from the bottom. But you can tell the limitations here. It doesn't seem like he quite knows how to improve his position from this full guard. But Anshul needs to do something from here if he wants to score.
How important is it? So, talking about the rules and how GAMAF operates, can you shed some light on what the big contributing factors are when you're scoring a fight? Is just control enough, or does the fighter have to be aggressive when he's in control?
Yeah, you definitely get credit for aggressive. We look for the duration, how long the fighter's pressing the action, sort of the damage that's done when they're pressing the action. So there's a number of factors that go into that.
Anshul with some wild punches over there.
Oh, there you go. He's posturing up, good effective striking.
Sanjeet is not being happy just defending though. He's just throwing some shots from the bottom himself.
Good striking from both fighters from this position. Now it looked like Anshul, he grabbed the back of his head, he was going to pry his head towards him. That'll open up that guard. It's called a can opener. We'll see if he tries to open that guard up again. Sanjeet, good striking from the bottom. Anshul, he doesn't want this fight to come back up. He's not able to keep him down, so that's a good escape there. You can tell he's nervous. Anshul looks nervous here.
But you can see what experience does.
Oh yeah.
Sanjeet, being the experienced fighter, knows how to get out of that predicament.
Yeah, now he's got a guillotine choke here. He's got that arm sunk in. Anshul, good escape. He was able to reverse that, yes. That was
transition. Side control.
Side control. Let's see if he can neutralize that left arm here and get himself in a better position either to strike.
What he might want to do is either end up in a crucifix position, or I think he's more comfortable.
It looks like he's trying to work a Kimura here. It looks like he's the way he's maneuvering his hands, I thought he was going to try and go for a Kimura here on his right arm. Good strike.
Landing those elbows. Anshul. We come to the closing seconds of the first round. Looking at this fight, you know the fact that Sanjeet has been pretty active in the defensive position.
In the amateur fights, we saw the fights kind of stagnate when the fight went to the ground. They didn't really know what to do. You see from these fighters, these guys,
what he wanted to do. What should Sanjeet do going to the second round?
I think he needs to hold them off and try and strike from outside. Keep his opponent from getting inside him. That first round has to give Anshul some confidence. The nerves are gone. He's gotten the first round under his belt. He was successful. He had a lot of success controlling his opponent from the top. This should really give him some momentum going into this round here. You see, big strike.
Went for a big haymaker, but
and this is kind of what we would expect. Sanjeet doesn't. He's going to look to land a big punch here, big strike here. Good fast shoot by Anshul here. He went for it again. Some strong body
big
shots.
Big elbow by Sanjeet.
Yeah. Big body shots too. But Anshul's sticking in there.
Good to his BJJ.
Yeah.
Very good his BJJ.
Yeah.
Complete the takedown. But what we have to observe here is what will Sanjeet do? What will Sanjeet do to ensure that he doesn't lose? Because he shouldn't be in a position going to the third round where he would definitely need a knockout.
He's got to continue to strike from the bottom. It's hard. It's really hard on your body. It's tiring when you're in this position, but that's what he really needs to do because he hasn't been able to escape from these positions. Now, he's got him in side control here. He's got him against the fence. He's looking to neutralize that right arm, but good work. Now, he's looking to stick a triangle there, but for somebody with jiu-jitsu skills like that, it's going to be hard to submit him.
And his transitions are slick.
Yeah.
You can almost compare that to butter.
Yeah.
The way he's moving, the way he ensures that he pivots his body and gets that side control. He's, again, imposing as well on Sanjeet.
And he's building his confidence as the fight goes on here. He's kind of smothering, impeding his ability to breathe, getting him to move so that he can find an advantage. But what we're seeing here in this round is Sanjeet's not able to work the strikes from this bottom position. Part of it is it's that fatigue as it sets in, right? Boy, it takes a lot of effort to posture up, and now he's in a full mount. He's in a real bad position here.
everything that Anshul does is methodical. Now he's raining down with punches.
Good strikes there. Sanjeet needs to use his arms to get on his opponent's hips and try and posture him off him.
What he would now do is use his left hand to create separation between himself and Sanjeet and continue raining down with punches.
Yeah.
However, Sanjeet is almost slipping out. Anshul has now readjusted.
Yeah, he needs to use his hands on the hips to get his opponent's body weight forward. He's in a high mount on him.
And if you look at the legs, Anshul for a brief period at least, and now once again has grapevine the legs to ensure that Sanjeet doesn't use them to get out of the bottom position.
Yeah, he's able to control him and hold him into that position here.
Sanjeet needs to do something drastic here because he cannot let this fight go into the third round while falling behind.
No, but you can tell he doesn't. He should try to roll in and slip out the back, but he's tentative to do that because he's going to expose his back, which you don't want to do against an experienced jiu-jitsu fighter. But you can really see Anshul's confidence building as this round goes on.
Now we will talk about this a little bit later, obviously in the main event, but this is why the amateur, having a good amateur base, having that experience is extremely important for fighters.
Exactly. I mean, this is his pro debut, and he looks like an experienced pro at this point. The way he's handled some good, effective striking from the top was one of the questions I had. Oh, he's really doing some damage here.
Down with big punches.
He is taking control of this fight. He's looking to end it right here.
At any point now.
Sanjeet's still able to defend himself, but he is taking some damage. You can see as he gets him in that body lock, he's just trying to hold on and keep his opponent from raining down any more strikes that are going to do any more damage. He's just looking to survive the round here.
Now Anshul, all he needs to do is readjust his position and he will once again have the upper hand. And that's what he has done.
His best bet is to make it to the end of this round and look to get the fight back on the feet at the beginning of the third round and utilize his strikes. Oh, good strike there. Last 10 seconds here.
Now obviously, considering Anshul has extensive experience in grappling, how big of a factor is this? Because Sanjeet looks like he's gassing out.
Yeah.
Anshul doesn't, because he has obviously should have good conditioning.
Right. It's not just the conditioning too.
And going into the third, obviously he would have more confidence of getting the job done.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to see here that we've seen in the other fights is that fatigue in the third round has really neutralized the strikers. And when you've got,
we are almost ready for round number 3.
He's going to look to be throwing a big punch, a big knee, or a kick as his opponent comes in on him. That's what I would expect here as we start off this third round.
Anshul, he's using his reach advantage perfectly as well, even when he's going for a takedown, securing a takedown.
He is. And you can see that fatigue in the striking. He throws a combination there, but it's slower than what we saw in the earlier rounds.
And his hands are very low as well. Sanjeet's hands are very low because he expects Anshul to shoot in and nothing
strong
else.
kick, but Anshul's still able to get inside. And he missed it. He missed a big left hand. Oh, big connect there
with a big right.
But he's able to maintain, stay up, even though he's hurt.
Now it's Sanjeet once again that has taken the fight to the ground. How intelligent is that for Sanjeet to take the fight to the ground when he definitely hurt Anshul there?
Well, I think in a fatigue position, he wants to get into a dominant position on the ground, try and work his strikes from the top.
Now he has secured Anshul's back.
He does.
This is a big moment in this fight.
Yeah. A real turn in the fight. I think it's going to be hard to see how he gets a submission here, given Anshul's jiu-jitsu experience.
He almost has the rear naked choke secured.
He's got that right arm locked in, but Anshul's controlling his left arm. He's not allowing him to get that leverage. And see, he rolls into his
control.
Yeah, good wrist control. He's able to roll into his opponent and get into the full guard.
As you said, taking the fight to the ground might not be the most intelligent move.
Right.
By Sanjeet there.
No, the only time it's an intelligent move is if you're able to maintain that dominant top position. and we find ourselves basically where we were in the first 2 rounds.
Sanjeet is still active from the bottom.
But you can see the fatigue on Sanjeet. He's not throwing, he's not striking like he did in the earlier round.
This is something that we expected as well. If the fight hit the ground, no matter how active Sanjeet is at the bottom, is going to be an important aspect in the fight. Now what is also very interesting to see here is how much these fighters have evolved. We talk about fighters being active from the bottom. We talk about Indian fighters having good jiu-jitsu. We just saw Angad Bisht mentioning Gracie Barra. The evolution of these fighters, the evolution of the sport of MMA is fascinating as well in India.
Yes, it is. I mean, it follows what we've seen, you know, the development with the UFC in the US, is you had fighters that were sort of dominant in whatever background they came from, but as time goes on, they become more well-rounded fighters. And we're really seeing that from this pro card here. You know, even though Sanjeet is probably a more effective striker, he's able to work and fight with a jiu-jitsu expert and be effective in his striking and being defensive and not getting submitted at this point.
Right, and again, what is once again very interesting is this is Anshul's pro debut. We should not forget that.
Right.
And as I said, we will talk about this obviously during the main event, but Shrikant Shekhar, who fights in the main event, what he did was he got into pro MMA, suffered a few losses, went back to the drawing board, got back to the amateur circuit, improved his game, became well-rounded, and came back to pro MMA. So what we can effectively see is the Indian fighters are now becoming more intelligent.
Yes, yes. And sometimes, you know, in their career, losses can teach you a lot. The challenge when you have success early in your career is you tend to go towards what worked and you maybe ignore other parts of your fight game. You know, you look at Shekhar, he's basically made a commitment to develop his game from all aspects of the fight game, both in terms of his striking and his jiu-jitsu. And I think that's going to, you see that, you know, we saw that in the last show. I think we're going to see that again in this fight.
And a lot of gyms in India are now known for extensive.
Anshul's got him in a good position here. He's got some good elbow strikes coming down.
Almost
he's been able to neutralize his arms, and Sanjeet's not really able to defend himself. He's in a good position here. He's most likely got the lead in the fight.
He needs to get that right hand free. He needs to get that right hand free from under Anshul.
But even better than a win on points would be a win on a stoppage if he can get that in his pro debut. He's basically
down to the final 10 seconds of the fight, so it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
No. An impressive fight. Anshul's continued to dominate the fight from the top. Really impressive pro debut. Really
but that once again emphasizes on the importance of the amateur circuit. How important it is for the fighters to not just jump to pro for money, for fame, for everything else, but to have a solid base.
Yeah, he wasn't effective in neutralizing his opponent's attack. He was able to get in and get him to the ground.
Now we go to Jared inside the cage for the decision.
Here we go! After the completion of 3 rounds, the winner by unanimous decision from the blue corner, Anshul Jubli!